Hi, I'm Ken Lynch, a metallurgical engineer by trade, but I'm also a Juris Doctor, and I've always had an interest in economics, more specifically economic law and history. One of the key tenets that we learn early on in engineering is that matter is neither created nor destroyed. I believe there is a parallel tenet in economics, being a closed system. Sounds technical, doesn't it? That wealth also is neither created nor destroyed, but merely transferred. In the case of, say, natural resources, transferred from the ground to storage facilities, from person to person, from institution to institution, from industry to industry. For example, looking at the last Great Depression era, from the early 20s, late 20s to the early 30s, again, with this being a closed economic system, even though the corporate and individual losses were highly publicized, again, even in that case, wealth was not destroyed but merely transferred. One person's loss was merely another person's gain. So there are a couple of key questions for you. First of all, the first being, which side of the economic ledger are you on these days? Which do you want to be on? Secondly, since most of you, I hope, answered the gaining side, how exactly do you go about accomplishing that? In comparing the current economic situation to that of our last Depression era, there are many key similarities, such as the high unemployment rate, the transfer of wealth, for example. But there are also stark differences that must be recognized by all people who are not currently independently wealthy. First of all, unlike back then, I believe the American worker faces a key difference. The day of what I call the BBBs, or big block businesses, as key employers of new hires, is over. In this era of economic globalization, we see that the big block businesses are outsourcing more and more of their work to sub-vendors, who in turn are smaller. I believe the days are over where, say, an IBM or a Xerox moves into town, opens up shop, hiring thousands of new workers. So I can hear someone asking, if you don't see the big block businesses, again, hiring thousands of workers to, say, a new town, to a town or a country. So I can hear someone asking, if the big block businesses are not coming to our rescue, is there any way forward? Do you see any way forward? And indeed I do. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, I see the trend of companies that are hiring new employees are actually trending smaller, not only in the United States, but worldwide. The Small Business Administration has recently noted that among new business formation, small businesses, roughly defined as those with 100 or fewer employees, constitute the fastest growing business segment. And of that segment, for the first time, over 50% are actually home-based businesses at 52%. So, what does that mean to you? As I stated earlier, with the big block businesses fading from the scene as far as hiring new American workers, and indeed we see quite the opposite is occurring with them laying off more thanks to the power of tools such as the World Wide Web, I see a tectonic shift in the nature of our economy, going from what I call an industry-driven market to a consumer-driven or what I call a demand market. With the consumer having worldwide visibility and access, no longer can local, regional, or even national companies dictate to the consumer what they will purchase. The consumer will dictate to the marketplace in the world, confident in the knowledge that there is someone in the world able to supply it. And that's where you come in. I believe that God has placed in all of us innate talents, gifts, and abilities, not only to further His work, to establish profitable, independent livelihoods for ourselves and our families. I also believe that there is somewhere in the world someone that wants to buy what it is that you are offering. I also believe that regardless of your passion or interest, there are some people out there of like mind and interest. That allows you to combine forces in the power of what we call leveraging, right? Giving you the opportunity, as we like to say, to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So many of you at this point are saying, based on my current economic situation or circumstance, that sounds all nice and great and interesting, but how do I go about doing that exactly? How? Again, I'm Ken Lynch, your tour guide on your journey of discovery. Welcome aboard.